Our names, they fear us just the same. And on and on. You probably can't hear that music. I left the Google speaker downstairs. Okay, so yes, it has been a few days since I was up here because I'm actually busy, like I always have to say. Like, it probably looks like I don't do anything but dance around and sit here, but no. So actually, when I finish this, I have to go run some errands. I need to go up to the Walmart and get some cleaning supplies and stuff because we had an issue in the kitchen. The sink was backed up. And I don't know what was in it, but the plumber, he and I were very offended by the smell that came out of the pipe. So we finna clean up downstairs. And I'm just really looking forward to this full moon upcoming on Sunday because it is in a conjunction with, hello viewer, it is in a conjunction with Chiron, the wounded healer. And you probably don't know this if you've just recently started watching me, but my Chiron placement allows me to embody that energy in my day-to-day life and my work, which is why I'm always talking about healing, because I'm always healing. I thought about it the other day and I was like, you need to really create like a timeline of created trauma and what you've worked through, and just like explaining how there's power in each of those places, because I think people really get it wrong when they what I don't know what that is, but there's something that is also playing, probably my son's Twitch somewhere. Lord have mercy. Come on, Mercury retrograde is supposed to be over with, man. Mercury retrograde is supposed to be over with. What is going on? Let me close everything because I don't know what that was, but I'm not about to deal with no random sounds. Where was that coming from? Totally weird. Totally weird. Yes. It looks like a key. Do you know where it is? Like what house or what sign it is in? It looks like a key because it is the key. It's like the key to unlocking all your power. That's the way I look at it anyway. Because I feel like if you know where Chiron is, you know how to use it. And that's why I am like a camera confidence coach, because I had to build up confidence and self-love for what I look like, what I sound like, the things that I say, because my Chiron is in Gemini. And so I can sometimes feel like what I'm saying or how I'm saying it isn't being delivered correctly and effectively. And then also, like, I just hated what I looked like growing up, like from hair, face, everything. I was like, your nose is big, your lips are big, your hair is big, and your body is too small. Boo to you. So that's how I treated myself. So I had to go through like the long journey of self-love to get to the point where I'm like, bitch, you is fine, okay? You is fine. Everything about you is cute and you better twirl. So, yes. Anyway, so today's card was the 10 of Swords in reverse. Now, yesterday's card was the Page of Swords, and I know I didn't come, but I think that is really significant because this week, especially leading up to the full moon, the message that I'm getting, and here are the overall cards that came out. I had the High Priestess, the Tower, not in reverse, upright this time, and the Judgment card. So I also pulled an Animal Spirit card and I got Tarantula. I love when I pull spiders because spiders, and tarantulas apparently specifically, are like the creators of their own life. But I feel like spiders are really powerful because they create from necessity. Like if they don't create their web, where do they live? You know? And I have these spiders in my yard called spiny orb weavers, and they live in community. So like all the females kind of like hang out together. I think they maybe have like one or two males usually. Anyway, those males serve their purpose. They mate with them. When they're ready to mate, they jump on a female's web. They play a little funky beat. She knows he's there. They commence to fucking. She's impregnated. And then he's like, okay, I've done what I came here to do. And she allows him to die on her web. I think that is the coolest thing. So, yeah. So the message that I got for the overall week is really just like, stop holding on. Okay. Yes, that's exactly what, and especially being kind of in a conjunction with the moon, that's powerful energy too, because it allows you to be more emotional in regards to what you're feeling. So that's really good. Where was I? Oh yes. Okay. So I feel like I said, with the Page of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and everything else that was coming up, we're in this place right now where it's like you're really, and that's why I use this thumbnail. I don't know if you could see it, but it was like on a bridge, kind of looking through this little archway. So it's like, take the road less traveled. You know, if you've been here before, if you've been in a position where you feel like, okay, this is my moment, I'm about to shine, I'm about to launch something, I'm about to drop something new. And in the past, I would have done this and this and this. Do something different now. Like, be able to look at your former experiences not in a way that's like, okay, well, this should hinder me from trying again because I failed before, or it was hard before, or it flopped before. Use your intuition and your wisdom, high priestess, to determine what skills you brought out of those struggles with you, and then use them moving forward. So don't stay just because you're afraid, you know. Like, go ahead, and this is what I wrote too, because I saw Mars square Mercury, which is action and aggression, in a square with communication. And then I had Neptune also opposite Mercury. So that's like dreams, visions, and lies, because Neptune do be lying sometimes, in opposition with communication. And then Moon square Uranus, but also trine to Venus and the Sun. So what I wrote was, stop fighting the desire to exit situations that no longer serve. You know what aligns and what doesn't. You don't have to be aggressive or ugly, but you do have to be honest with yourself and others. And then I also added, you may not be seeing everything, because I saw Neptune there, and Neptune be lying, like I said. So it's like being able to take like a really genuine look. And that's what happens as we lead up to important lunation, which is like new moon, full moon. We will have experiences that help us to set intention with those moons. So we are going to pull cards, and I already lit the sage, but let me do some of this holy wood. And if I seem off today, it's just because, oh my God, I've been doing so much, and I need to take a break, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that for real. Because I have one thing that I still need to finish before I can just be like, let me sit down somewhere. Because what I'd like to do is go back to producing my podcasts. Thank you, Elizabeth. I mean, I wasn't looking for that, but I appreciate it. I'd like to go back to producing podcasts, because that's what I actually do. So I'd like to go back to doing that. All right. So we're going to be talking about taking the road less traveled. So let's get some cards. I am calling in the support of my angels, ancestors, guides, ascended masters, my Heavenly Father, my Creator who lives in me. Hallelujah. I honor and see myself. Oh, I'm at peace. I'm at ease. I honor and see myself. I agree to find the path, stay the course, trust the process, and enjoy the journey. Amen. So yeah, even her saying, you do sound off, but it's okay. Like, I don't care. But in the past, I would have been like, oh my God, everybody doesn't like me and thinks I'm crazy. But that's my wound. So I'm not surprised that people would be like, she's ridiculous. But like, I am ridiculous. But that's part of my magic too. That's part of my magic. And I'm okay with it. I really am. I just need to take a break from like people, if that makes sense. Like, I'm constantly tending to something or talking to someone or saving somebody. Like, get some strength about you. Okay. Get some strength about you. Because I can't be there all the time. And truthfully, I don't want to be. Like, I don't ever want anybody to be codependent upon me. That's not a thing that I enjoy. So when I teach people, I hope that I'm teaching them to take what I am doing in my life and apply it to their own lives so that they can sustain moving forward versus relying on me forever. I mean, I know there are people who create funnels and systems that require people to constantly have to be, first of all, paying them and then also needing them for the next piece of information. That is not what I want in my life. And that's not what I desire for the people who work with me. All right, so let's talk about taking the road less traveled and just using this upcoming full moon in conjunction with Chiron. Woo, the 5 of Spades, 2 of Spades. On my own. I heard this girl yesterday saying, and oh my God, there it is again, the Jack of Spades. I was just having a full conversation with somebody about pages in the tarot. And I told her that yesterday's card was the Page of Swords, and then today's card being the 10 of Swords. But I feel like the Page of Swords is a very powerful individual. Okay, Erica, that's a little bit too much, honey. I feel like the Page of Swords is a very powerful individual because the 10 of Swords is literally like a death and rebirth experience. So if you are at the Page of Swords, that means you've just had an ego death of some sort. And so you're right on the precipice, on the verge of taking a new leap or taking a road less traveled, really doing something that sets a boundary for yourself and tells somebody else no, or I refuse to participate in this, however it comes out for you. So seeing that card and then the 2 of Spades with this 5 of Spades, that means that there's definitely some internal conflict that is coming from the decision or the choice that has to be made right here. And then there's fear also of, well, what's going to happen if I do this? Because am I going to lose these people? Am I going to lose my position? Am I going to be called crazy? Whatever the thing is. But you really can't worry about that. Because especially if you feel like what you are being called to do is coming from a divine place, you've got to do it anyway. You'll never be satisfied until you do this thing, achieve this thing, or just create the thing. It just is the way it is. It just is the way it is. My friend. So if you don't know your Chiron placement, you need to go ahead and look it up. Because it's likely that, I mean, also check your chart to see where Aries is. Also check your chart to see where Aries lives in your chart. But do check to see where your Chiron placement is so that you can be knowing, you know, okay, well, what's going to come up, or when things come up, you can say, okay, well, I guess this is why, or this is what it's associated with, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing with it. And 6 months ago, like, look to the new moon in Aries, March 31st, to see what you were working on or what you put on your paper at that new moon. For me, I know I had a lot of information coming up about men and women and masculine and feminine energy just in general. And I had on my stream that day, I think it was that day, but I was talking about the Five of Pentacles and the fact that the Knight of Cups in reverse, the fact that men generally, and if you don't like that I use the terms men and women to talk about masculine and feminine energy, you're free to go watch something else. But men generally want to lead, of course, and that is the way this society has been designed, but they're not always right. So that's not to say that, you know, men don't have skills and expertise in being leaders, but why do we struggle to see women as that too? Temperance in reverse. Why are we struggling to see the value in women as well? Because women have done a lot of really great and powerful things in their lives and in the lives of others. And you really can't have posterity without women, because who's going to birth the babies? So should you not respect that energy? The Queen of Swords in reverse. What the hell? Okay, one more. The Seven of Swords in reverse. Oh my goodness. Just like I said, though, you might not be able to see everything. Like, that's why it's important for people to be in connection and communication with their higher selves or their energetic body, because when you're not at a balance, you see Temperance in reverse here, you're not able to make decisions effectively, and it can be like chaos, because people often, and just like I said about Chiron being kind of in play here, people make decisions based on their trauma, not necessarily on the truth. So it's like you've decided to dislike somebody, or you've decided to reject somebody, or close yourself off from something, but it's not because it actually is something that could hurt you. It's because you've closed your heart. Knight of Cups in reverse. You've closed your heart. And Queen of Swords in reverse, I'm getting throat chakra energy here, because of something that's happened in the past. You don't know how to express yourself. You're not sure how to be vulnerable and open. And I know that was an issue for myself too. And like, I was talking to a friend yesterday, and I just told her, like, I could see in going back and looking at my new moon in Aries work, I can see how I was looking at relationships still through that lens of pain, because it goes beyond even romantic relationships. When it comes to me trusting somebody, it's very difficult for you to get close to me, because I've been hurt a lot from the time I was 3 years old. And that's why I said, if I make that timeline and really get into, wow, this trauma, this trauma, this trauma, this trauma, I can see where I decided, fuck people. Yay. Hey, how are you? I can see where I've decided. And look what I just pulled out, Cheyenne. I know you probably can't see it, but Jack Spades. Look at that. But yes, so even in my own personal experience, I can see where I developed these traumas from my relationships with people, and decided that I wasn't going to trust anybody. And so it made it very difficult for me to have romantic relationships too, because I would have relationships with people, but I would also be very strategic about those relationships. This is even after I decided that I needed to heal. Thank you so much. I would be very strategic about those relationships. I would wait for a sign. Okay, boom, this is it. This is good. But if it started to feel funny, I would be like, I'm leaving. So I didn't have the ability to develop a long-term relationship, because I would be quick to exit if it started to feel off. Now, that's not something that I need to get rid of, but I probably need to work on staying put in situations that have potential and not move based on my trauma. So that's what I'm saying. Like, people operate from that place instead of from a healed place. And I really need to get into that too, because I feel like, and I know I'm just rambling today, and you're going to allow it. Like I said earlier, my communication, I don't know, I feel different today. I feel more open and more able to just talk. So I'm not holding myself hostage or restricting myself, and you just gonna have to love it or hate it. I am tired of hearing people get on the internet and say, when you're healed, who the fuck is healed completely and totally? Like, are there people who are still using a body who are fully and completely and totally healed and will never probably experience any more trauma that they will have to heal? Are there any people like that? So it makes me feel like, are you really doing your work? If you're saying the word healed out here like you're completely and totally healed, like, can you really dig into your entire emotional body, because that is where trauma is stored? Have you really and completely healed everything? And I am, quote unquote, the wounded healer archetype, so maybe it's different for me, but I don't like that terminology, because it tells people, okay, once you do this and this, you're good to go. Get out there, and there's still work to be done usually. Like, there are people who feel like they're whole and completely healed because they're wearing crystal bracelets, or they're using sound bowls, or they're wearing necklaces, or they're playing cards or whatever. Like, those things do not indicate whether or not you are wholly and completely healed. So that's my rant. Anyway, I'm about to get back to the cards. So yes, so with this full moon, we're being asked to look at life from that lens of, how has my trauma or the things that I've held on to too tightly or experienced stopped me from advancing? I have the opportunity right now to say, I no longer have to carry this bag with me. I can just take the road less traveled, and I can leave this sack of shit right here. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting. Thank you all for being here and for listening to me rant. Because I'm in a ranting mood. Now, Aries is in my 11th house, and Mercury is there. So I may speak with more fire this week, and that's okay. Like, once again, if you don't like how I talk or what I say, you don't have to be here. And then we've got, this is the 4 of Swords. You can't hurry up because you've got too much stuff. And now they're playing Bag Lady. Okay. What else? The Empress. The Empress. Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. I hope everyone has plans to work at the full moon this week, because I think it's really going to be important, especially with Chiron being conjunct the full moon. Like, there's going to be a lot of sludge coming up. And that's what I mean by carrying the old stuff. Yes, I feel like we always will be healing, because it is a long journey and it is a lifelong process. But you don't have to live your life based on the trauma. Like, you don't have to live your life moving from that traumatic and traumatized space. You can operate like you are fresh and new. And just like the conversation that Cheyenne and I had earlier about the Page of Swords or the Jack of Spades, it's okay to be fresh in it, to say, okay, I am starting new right here. This is a new journey for me, and I'm allowed to embark on it in whichever way I choose. Because there will be people who want you to stay in that traumatized place. There will be people who are like, I liked you better when you were suffering. And that is the weirdest fucking shit to me. Justice. Come on. What did I say? My overall card was the Judgment card. is talking to me? Okay, and then the Two of Pentacles. That's my start small card. Okay, so this is what I'm getting, looking at. Four Swords, the Empress, Justice, and Two of Pentacles. When we're talking about this moon coming up and we're talking about navigating, setting intentions, and operating in future. I'm about to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb right now. Right now. Justice came out during my Aries full moon reading too. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I feel like we're so in alignment lately and I'm here for it. Okay, so this is what I'm getting. Just like I said, okay, so now is the time. Like Cheyenne said, she said, I look radiant. Well, I mean, I didn't put any real makeup on, but I did put a little bit of mascara, put some lip gloss on, that sort of thing. I looked in the mirror and I said, I want to improve my look today, even though I'm fine without makeup. But that's a thing, like I said, that has a lot to do with my wounding. How do I look? Will I be presented well? Will people like me? Will they accept me? All of these things. None of that shit really matters. None of that matters. So you have to be looking at the things that you do and make sure that you're doing them because they're for you and not necessarily for somebody else, because that's how you Empress. Like when you're in your Empress energy, you're not like, oh, well, let me double check with these people and see if they approve of or appreciate what the fuck I'm about to do. No, that's not how you operate. And you don't operate from your wound. You don't carry your trauma around like a badge of honor and say, I'm a victim because this happened to me. And I'm not allowed to be a different type of person because of what has happened to me. This is who I'll always be. I'm tired of that too. Like that's what made you or is supposed to make you. It's not who you are. It doesn't have to define you. So you can't be afraid to take the road less traveled. And you cannot be afraid to, as I always say, like I said, this card is my start small card. Don't be afraid to say, fuck it, I'm just going to go out here. Let's see what happens. So I had a dream last week. And I shared this already with Cheyenne, who is watching. Thank you, friend. I was sitting like in a chair and looking to my right, and I saw like a pole or a stick. And I saw this little black puff of smoke. And then that puff of smoke, or it might have been a black feather, I'm not sure, but it grew into an owl, which signifies for me wisdom. And as the owl was there, it just looked at me, and then it became a bunch of other really small owls. Like there were a bunch of owls everywhere. And I was like, that is crazy, because all of those owls came out of this one puff of smoke, this one feather that was there. So it indicates to me a need to start small, because you never know what you're going to grow or create once you plant that seed. And you cannot be afraid to do that. You can't be afraid to abandon. And this is something else that I talked about at the new moon in Aries, the house that bullshit built. So when I talk about the house that bullshit built, I'm talking about what was created from your trauma, ancestral trauma, trauma from slavery, and even just being Black in this United States, or being a woman in the United States. All of these things, just like the song was saying, all the bags that you have with you, all that stuff has colored who you are and how you operate. So you decide, I'm not going to try this thing. And this is full circles for what I was talking about in the very beginning of this video. I'm not going to try this thing. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to go for it because in the past it did XYZ. It might not do that again. Maybe now is the time that it will be sustained. Maybe now is the time. Maybe all the things that you've gone through on the journey were enough to prepare you for where you're really trying to go now. Maybe this is the moment. But if you don't try, if you don't put it out there now, you'll never fucking know. And I'm the type of person that like I said before, if something's not working, I will leave it behind. So what is the problem with saying, hey, I tried this, but it didn't work? If you never try, you won't know. If you never try, you won't know. And if you never try, it definitely won't grow. So now let's get some oracle cards. So yeah, the first time I ever said the house that bullshit built, I was talking about, I need to go back to that video too, but I was talking about my ancestors and my family and all of the pain and the grief that was created from my grandfather's alcoholism that he fell into because he was a sensitive but did not know how to be a sensitive. And he was a man, and he was a veteran, and he was Black in the South. So all of those things colored how he behaved and treated his children, who grew up to be my dad and my aunt, who raised me, which means I then held his pain through them. And then because of that pain, I went on to create a life through that energy. But it is my divine right. I'm about to cry. Look, it is my divine right to build a new house. To build a new house on that same land if I want to. Because at that time I was talking about abandoning the home or the family that was built. But you don't have to abandon it. You just have to tear it down and build something new. Because I was talking about being able to exit the gate and leave that barren place where no love could grow. But I don't necessarily have to abandon the land. I just have to build something new on it, if that makes sense. Because you can't. You really can't. Like, that is you. It's still you. It's still part of you. Those are still your ancestors. That's still your DNA. So that never goes away. But you have the ability to create your life, just like the spider, every day. And you don't have to do it from the lens of these people drank too much and beat us up, or these people were neglectful because they never had love growing up. You don't have to continue to create from that space. You can make fresh. That is your divine right, like I said. And that's where we are right now. This is a really powerful moon. So you just need to be able to use it in that way. Like, really look at how you're fucking up your own life and hurting yourself because you keep carrying around your ancestors' pain and trauma. Like, I don't have to carry the pain of my great grandmother, who was one of 14, probably the last one born in the at the end of the 1800s, where her parents probably didn't have time to cultivate the relationship that she really needed. And so then she became an oppressive mother and was weighing way too heavily on my grandpa, who then couldn't have a marriage that was proper with his wife, who had children with this man that became my dad and my aunt. So, like, if I continue to say, yeah, my family's just fucked up, we just always gonna be fucked up, it's gonna continue to be fucked up. But it does not have to be that. That does not have to be my experience. And if you have a similar upbringing or a similar family, you don't have to stay fucked up. You don't have to. So if you decide to operate from that vein, that's a choice that you make. All you have to do is look at it. How am I acting like the person that I said I never wanted to be like? I'm acting like them right here. Let me stop doing this bullshit. That's it. Star ancestors, hidden secrets, lost wisdom. Look a little deeper. I knew that card was going to come out. When I started shuffling, I said, watch me pull that card. And boom, here it is right here. I feel like we should read it. I feel like I should read it. My goodness. Okay. The ancients knew much more than we do about our connection with the stars. Their pyramids, temples, and other places of worship created in precise alignment with the stars exist in all corners of the world. What if this ancient wisdom is available for you to uncover now? You're being called to think and listen with your ancient heart and soul, to tap into the part of you that remembers and knows. All ancient secrets are whispered forever in your ears. All mystic knowing blooms in your heart. All potent power pumps through your veins. You're being invited to step into your ancient knowingness, to be held by the remembering of the star ancestors, to look a little deeper. If you're feeling stuck, you're being called to do something different and to change your point of view. Amen. Creativity happens when we put together two things that don't belong, when we do the unexpected. So often a creative solution is right in front of us, but because we think the same thoughts and act the same way, we miss what's in the open. You're here to remember and uncover ancient secrets and transmissions, technology and wisdom that are so needed on the planet right now, to unlock your soul's memories of a time when we lived in harmony on earth and one day will again. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Because I was just saying that and I appreciate that confirmation. Like I was saying, and like the card said, make a new choice. Take the road less traveled. Stop being replications of those people who came before you that did the things that hurt you. Like, why? And you know it, but you're holding on to it because you're like, that's just the way it always was. You don't have to carry that. Let it go. Be fresh. Be new. Like I said, it is your divine right. Like, I know that I'm the first person that ever was brave enough to be like, yeah, I get information and I am using it to help others. I know my great grandmother, the same one I was talking about, I know she was hexing people. I called my family the hexaholics because I'm like, ugh, this is fucking poison. Because I could feel that shit. I could feel it. Like the way I would react to certain things, the things I would think about certain people, about myself. So, like, if you're out there hexing people, not even on purpose, because you don't really know how this shit works, you just thinking bad shit, wanting people to fail, you don't even realize that sometimes you are going to send that curse back to your entire fucking family that hasn't even been born yet because you want to be an evil-hearted bitch because you don't know how to be kind to others. Be kind to yourself first. That will teach you how to treat somebody else. You know, and I don't blame her because I know she probably, like I said, did not have the love that she needed. So she was out here just being awful. All paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, my card overall for the week was the High Priestess. Definitely giving me that energy of using your knowing. Like I said at the beginning of the video, use what you know about your experience to go. So, yes, I know I'm ranting, but I just feel like I got to get it out. I have to talk about it because there are too many people. And one of my major issues is with Black women, because why do we have unnecessary competition energy all the time? It's like you have your own path to walk. You have your own work to do, people to love, folks to heal, shadow work to participate in. Why hate the next woman? Why try to sabotage her? Why? When we could be living like my spiders in community, creating something great and beautiful for our children. Like, stop the competition energy. Collaboration is much more powerful. And I do have a blog I'm supposed to be writing on collaboration over competition. But once again, I just haven't gone around to it. Anyway, that's where I'm at right now. I don't know how to say this. Samadhi, perfect acceptance. Let's see what it says. Okay. The girl of Samadhi is not distracted by the sharp thorns nor the beauty of the flowers and pearls of life. As they cluster around her, she is tranquil and deeply merged with the essence of oneness and acceptance. Samadhi teaches that when you give up being a perfectionist, life is suddenly perfect. Hallelujah. Consider that your life in this moment is purely a reflection of your consciousness. Everything exactly the same as it was yesterday. It is your attitude that has shifted, and this is for better and for worse. For what you resist tends to persist. However, with Samadhi, there is no better and no worse. Everything is. It is a beautiful place to be. Allow yourself this kindness in this moment and embrace Samadhi. Everything will find its place around you in the inevitable present moment. Accept everyone and everything in every situation as being exactly as it is meant to be. Now, I like that. And I'll tell you why. Because I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were just kind of discussing growth and healing. And one thing that I misunderstood when I started this journey was that I was going to see like miraculous changes to my physical experience without my effort, if that made sense. Like, me and my son brought this chair up here, but I guess I believed that the chair would appear in my room without me going to get it. That is not how it works. So it was really, really hard for me to accept that what needed to change wasn't even my house, wasn't my kids, wasn't my job, wasn't anything other than me. I had to make the choice to be different. So just like I said about my grandfather and his problem with the drink, I too had a problem with the drink. The same exact type of alcohol. I don't want to say I didn't know him, but I was very young when he died. So I never watched him drinking whiskey. And my dad also drank whiskey, but my dad didn't drink whiskey when I was a child. He had already stopped drinking whiskey. But when I was ready to become the alcoholic that was in my DNA, I went to that exact alcohol and I leaned on it for support. And I drank and drank and drank and drank and drank. And I was having a conversation this morning with somebody. We're talking about a project we're working on. And I was telling her that, there are a lot of people who are addicted to substances because they are running away from trauma or sensitivity, like myself. And the hardest thing I've ever done was to stop drinking whiskey, because I was drinking it straight, like the same way that I drink this coffee, just all day long. I would be like, where's my bottle? I would drink. After I got off of work, I would just drink, 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 drink. And then I would pass out. And the next morning I would get up and I would get my son ready to go to school. And then when I got off of work, I would get drunk again. I would do that shit every day because I wanted to die so much, because it really hurt to physically be in my body. But I did not have the courage, the confidence, or really the know-how to complete actual suicide. So I just thought I will just kill myself by drinking too much. And maybe one day I'll have a car accident and die. Those were my real thoughts. But I'm not that person anymore, because I made a choice to be different. I chose to find my power and to stop leaning on what I was addicted to and become addicted to the divine. That was my choice. And I said out loud, if I want to be addicted to anything, I want to be addicted to divine love. So I made that choice to change. I changed how I felt about life. I changed what I thought. I changed the things that I did. And then I was able to change my life. So that's the thing. It's like your life doesn't change without you changing, because you ultimately just make different choices. So if you're in a place right now where you feel like you want your life to change, but your life is not changing, are you changing? Are you also evolving? Because that is the key. Your evolution is what allows you to make the changes that change your experience. Okay, one more card. One more card, and then I'm going to the store because I need to run that errand. Now that I done told all my family business on here. But like, I'm not ashamed. Like, I'm supposed to be writing a book about that. Like, I can't imagine my ancestors would be like, don't talk about what we did. They did it. Had they not done it, I wouldn't be who I am and to do what I'm going to do. So I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for all the bullshit. The house that bullshit built, I'm grateful for that because it gave me something. It gave me something. And there was power in every single bit of that trauma that I experienced. I'm not a victim at all. I choose not to be because I could easily be like, I'm a sexual assault victim. I've been sexually assaulted so many times and I was sexually assaulted when I was a child and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that happened, but I'm not a fucking victim. Health, number 71. What does it say? Hello, hello. Okay. This card indicates a need to focus on your well-being and self-care. By drawing this card, you are being encouraged to explore practices and behaviors that can enhance your physical, emotional, and mental health. Whether you explore conventional or alternative methods, it's important at this time to put your health and happiness first. This is a time to eliminate any unhealthy habits and behaviors that are impeding your success. You can seek professional assistance if you need to or make improvements on your own. Some of the basic necessities for optimal health are regular checkups, good nutrition, exercise, drinking plenty of water, getting a good night's sleep, detoxification, going outside in nature, engaging in relaxing activities, avoiding toxic people and environments, maintaining a positive mindset, meditation or yoga, defining your personal limits and boundaries, doing what you love, laughing often, and spending quiet time alone. This isn't a time to procrastinate, for you are being called to take action. Call upon your spirit guides and angels if necessary to be shown the next step to take for the sake of your health. So just like I was saying, like, I don't know how many people are addicted to unnecessary and harmful substances because they're using them to cope. I mean, this has been a really difficult time. Like the last 2 years, 2.5 years, almost 3 years, like it's been a really difficult time. And I kind of got the message right at the beginning of the shutdown, March 2020 or April 2020, because I was drinking whiskey again. And I had bought one big bottle. I only bought the big ass bottle because I was like, I know I'm not going to be able to probably go back outside. So I went and bought 2 gigantic bottles of whiskey. And it was like, I just sat in my chair downstairs and I looked over at the bar and I saw the bottle and I said, is this helping you or is this hurting you? Because I knew what my dreams were. I knew what my goals were. And I knew that as I was drinking every day, yeah, we had shut down and there was really nothing for me to do, but I wasn't being productive either. I was just drunk, or I was just not drunk, but tipsy, like lean a little bit. And I just decided, like, I'm not doing this. But I knew if I was going to the drink that way, that other people were also going to their lowest vibrational coping tool because they were feeling pressure. So there are people who never stopped. Right now, almost 3 years later, they're still using their same coping mechanisms because they don't know what else to do. But yourself depends upon you making healthier choices in your life. Like, you need your body. Your body, yes, earth is your home, but your body is your home. It is the home and the house of your spirit. So you need it. Whatever you came here to earth to do, you cannot do without your body. So you need to make sure you're taking good care of it. because it's really important. Like, if our job, however you're going to express it, is to express divine love through our actions, to learn how to interact with other humans, how to have relationships, and how to communicate, and how to find joy and express here, you got to have a body to do that. And you don't want to wear it down or break it down because you're filling it with poison to cope with just being here. So if it hurts you to be in your body without whatever it is that you use to cope, please take the time to sit with yourself and really figure out who inside of you is hurting and going to that, because there's a part of you that needs that drug, that needs the alcohol, that needs the food that you're overeating or whatever you're using to cope. Like, you need to sit with that part of yourself because you're crying and you may not know it because you're avoiding dealing with the pain and feeling it. That's the only way to heal, is to really feel everything that you're feeling. So like I said, there are people who are saying they're healed and they're out here screaming, I'm fully healed, but they're participating in activities and behavior that don't speak to being fully healed. Like, there are still things that I'm working on, and I'm transparent about it because why not? I mean, I'm human. I'm there's no possible way that I'm going to be without some human thing while I'm using this body. If I was going to be an angel, I would be that. I'm a human, and so are you. So just give yourself what you need. Let's pull a self-care card to see what this has to say. And then I'm really leaving because I've already been here for 51 minutes, which is quite a long time to be talking. I was not looking for no love affair. I seem to find them, though. I'll be like, I'm just here. Boom. Somebody to fell in love. I'm going to let myself, though, really fall in love now. And going ahead and try it again. For real. To trust. Journal. So make sure that you're getting into your journal. Write it. Like, auto writing is a really excellent way to heal deeply rooted trauma. Like, asking yourself the question, why am I still hurt by this? Or what is this about? And then just letting yourself write the answer. Like, it's so cathartic. If you haven't tried auto writing, please do it. All right. So I'm leaving. Thank you for being here and watching me ramble and fuss or whatever. Is that a journal? Oh, Elizabeth, drop your link so people can buy a book from you if they want to. Drop your link for your journal so that people can buy something to write in if they want to after they come look at this and listen to me talk and feel triggered. You're welcome. Oh, I need to go check my mailbox because I might have your cards too. And go ahead and drop your link too, Cheyenne, so that people can shop with you if they want to do that. Y'all drop y'all's links so that people can buy the tools that are available to do healing, because the tools are out there and they're not just, like I said, crystals and that sort of thing. Like there are other tools that you can use to do shadow work, because that's really what it takes. If you're avoiding your shadow work, or if you feel like other people are always the problem, then it might be you. Like, you have to, like, somebody just asked me to do a course, to create a course for them on self-awareness. You know I'm going to do it. But I mean, that's it. It's the self-awareness, because it might be you. If you have a similar problem over and over again with people, you need to look at what's going on instead of being like, oh, I just figured it was them because, this or that. Like, I'm using blogging as part of my journal and shadow work, doing it now. Absolutely. Blogging is an excellent way to journal. Like, I think that's a thing, like, especially those of us who are out here, like, as healers, like, your journal is essentially a tool for other people to heal from. So, I mean, there are things, of course, that you want to keep private, but never be afraid to tell your story and to share your experience, because you just never know how it can change someone else. And that's what the experiences are really for. They're to transform you and to heal you, yes. But once you have processed what you went through and you can tell that story without falling apart, having to leave the room, being overly emotional, you can give it to somebody else. And somebody once asked me, well, how are you able to tell people things about you or about your experience without crying? And I'm like, because I've already cried. Like, I'm not going to come telling you guys about things that I haven't at least looked at once before. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, in order for it to be effectively used to heal another person, it first has to be used to heal you. So what do we know? Like, I use my Bible sometimes, but since I'm not necessarily a Christian, somebody told me this morning I was, though, based on what I was saying. But physician, heal thyself. So you can't go healing somebody else in any way that you have not already healed yourself or practiced healing in that way, if that makes sense. So, like, if I haven't done shadow work for myself on my sexual assault, or if I haven't done shadow work in places of relationship, then I probably don't need to be teaching on that yet, because I haven't healed on it. You know what I mean? But anyway, y'all, I'm about to go. I appreciate y'all for being here. I'm sending y'all love, and I will see you later. Don't be a self-hater.